Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying.
Biden did authorize Ukraine to use those U.S.-supplied missiles to strike deeper inside Russia, easing limitations on the longer-range weapons after Russia deployed thousands of North Korean troops in the conflict.
We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership.
I want to start the show off by talking about this potential World War III that could occur in Russia and Ukraine. I don't want to say this is true, but sometimes I think it could be true that the current administration is trying to sabotage Donald Trump before he ever gets into office. There have been talks between Donald Trump and Zelensky for them to have a ceasefire situation. When I say ceasefire, I mean in the war.
Another meeting in the near future between you.
Could very well happen, but I think the president said it the best. This is a war that should have never happened. It should have never happened, and it wouldn't have happened. It's a shame, but this is a war that should have never happened, and we'll get it solved. It's a complicated puzzle, very complicated puzzle, but we'll get it solved, and people get on with their lives. Too many people dead. Too many beautiful cities. I've seen those cities. They're so beautiful, and they, I don't know how you can ever rebuild them the way they were. It's not possible.
You have to come, by the way, to see our city.
I will. It's a beautiful country, beautiful weather, beautiful everything. But we have to get this over with. Yeah. But it's a war, and the president agrees. This is a war that should have never happened.
Donald Trump is willing to talk to Vladimir Putin. It seems like they're getting somewhere. And then now tensions are escalating, and Ukraine is now using U.S. Missile systems that are long range that can hit deep into Russia at a military site, which is causing Russia to want to react. And Vladimir Putin has changed his doctrine on when they can use nuclear weaponry, nuclear force against a nation that's encroaching on them. And we could see World War III happen.
We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction on a scale unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare. We will avoid it, but we need new leadership. Every day this proxy battle in Ukraine continues, we risk global war. We must be absolutely clear that our objective is to immediately have a total cessation of hostilities. All shooting has to stop. This is the central issue. We need peace without delay. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us into endless wars, pretending to fight for freedom and democracy abroad, while they turn us into a third world country and a third world dictatorship right here at home. The State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first. Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy establishment keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization today is not Russia. It's probably more than anything else, ourselves and some of the horrible USA-hating people that represent us. It's the abolition of our national borders. It's the failure to police our own cities. It's the destruction of the rule of law from within. It's the collapse of the nuclear family and fertility rates like nobody can believe is happening. It's the Marxists who would have us become a godless nation worshiping at the altar of race and gender and environment. And it's the globalist class that has made us totally dependent on China and other foreign countries that basically hate us. These globalists want to squander all of America's strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas while keeping us distracted from the havoc they're creating right here at home. These forces are doing more damage to America than Russia and China could ever have dreamed. Evicting this sick and corrupt establishment is the monumental task for the next president. And I am the only one who can do it. I'm the only one that can get the job done. I know exactly what has to be done.
Now, I'm hoping that they come to their senses and not get into a peeing match and end up getting into World War III, drag us into it before Donald Trump can get into office. Because if Donald Trump gets into office, I'm almost confident Donald Trump will resolve this. And I'm hoping that they can just hold off for a minute until we get a grown-up in office where we can negotiate and make things right by everybody. I think there's a solution to this problem, and I don't think the Democrats have the solution. Unfortunately, I think they're trying to escalate to either one, and I don't know if this can necessarily happen. I just hear rumors of this happening. To one, create martial law because we're in war, and therefore the transfer of power is probably not going to occur if we're actually in a war situation. I don't know that to be true. I'm just saying what I'm hearing on the streets. And then another idea is that they get Donald Trump in so much turmoil that his entire administration is fighting a world war. And when the economy take a dump and we're in another war and then there's an illness that come through that plague the nation, then they're going to be wanting to vote for a Democrat next time. And I'm afraid that that's what they're attempting to do. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Do not miss America Fest 2024. It's happening December the 19th through the 22nd at the Phoenix Convention Center right here in my home city. Get ready to hear from top speakers, including myself, Tucker Carlson, Matt Gaetz, whom I love. I met Matt Gaetz in person. That dude is just as cool as he is when you see him on the television. We got Don Trump Jr. and many more of the nation's top speakers. You'll connect with thousands of patriots, enjoy live concerts, and develop leadership skills that will energize you to make a difference in your community. Secure a spot today. Use promo code Tatum and get 25% off general admission at ampfest.com. See y'all at America Fest. Let's go. We have a news clip about this particular situation, and I want to put that on the screen now. Roll it.
This is video from a previous situation, not the one that we are about to discuss here, but we did just learn from the Associated Press that Ukraine fired 6 U.S.-made missiles here at Russia's Bryansk region. Russia's defense ministry just releasing that information days after U.S. President Biden eased those restrictions on Ukrainian use of American-made weapons in the war that is now marking its 1,000th day. Ukraine claimed it hit a military weapons depot there in the middle of the night, though it didn't specify what weapons it actually used. The Ukrainian General Staff said that multiple explosions and detonations were heard in that targeted area. And in a statement carried by Russian news agencies, the Russian Defense Ministry said the military shot down 5 of those Army tactical missile systems and damaged another. The fragments fell on the territory of an unspecified military facility. That's again according to Russia's ministry. The falling debris sparking a fire, but did not inflict any danger or any casualties. Neither side's claims could be independently verified by the Associated Press. The announcement came after Biden did authorize Ukraine to use those U.S.-supplied missiles to strike deeper inside Russia, easing limitations on the longer-range weapons after Russia deployed thousands of North Korean troops in the conflict. Earlier on Tuesday, Ukrainian officials reported a 3rd Russian strike in 3 days on a civilian residential area in Ukraine that killed at least 12 people, That includes a child. The strike by a drone in a region there late Monday hit a dormitory of an educational facility and wounded 11 other people, including 2 children, adding that more people could be trapped under the rubble. Ukrainian civilians have repeatedly been clobbered by Russian drones and missiles during this war, while on the battlefield it's under severe Russian pressure at places on about a 600-mile front line where its army is stretched thin against a bigger adversary. So again, we have now learned from the Russian ministry that Ukraine did fire 6 of those U.S.-made long-range missiles in Russia, and that's again according to the defense ministry. So as we get more information on that, we'll make sure to bring it to you right here on 5 Now from Fox. Also important to note that today does mark 1,000 days of war for Ukraine. We did hear from President Zelensky a bit earlier on in the morning, and we'll play that out for you again a bit later on today.
So this is one thing I don't understand. I probably need to do more research. I don't understand why we're even involved in this in the first place. I don't necessarily believe that Ukraine is that much of a American asset in the region as people appear to be making it out to be. I could be totally wrong. I don't think that we should have done as much as we've done in Ukraine. I just don't see the purpose there. I don't see the relationship other than the fact that Joe Biden was making money out there in Ukraine, and so was Hunter Biden, snorting coke off prostitutes and living his best life working for Ukrainian energy company, Burisma, which he can speak the language and had no formal knowledge or resume to get him on the board making millions of dollars a year. I mean, outside of the conflict of interest in Russia and Ukraine, I don't understand why we are participating in helping them whatsoever. I could be wrong, but hundreds of billions of dollars that we're giving to Ukraine is absolutely incensing to me. And I don't know why we continue to do it.